Welcome to Shadeinthecity. As you can see, I got the employee back in the lab.
Not the employee.
The employee. I threatened her. If you're gonna go on vacation, you better make it to work. You better report to work on time. So no, we actually have an interview tonight, which we will definitely post after everything is done. But thank you guys for joining us. We are reviewing. What the hell are we reviewing?
90 Day.
90 Day Fiance, your favorite. So let's get right into it and get shady because we got a lot to be shady about.
Oh, we don't get that.
Oh, yeah. And my glasses are be terrible. We start off with Bilal and Shy. Now, she said after the gondola, which was very beautiful, she still did not get the answers that she needed from Bilal. He's upset that she doesn't want to attend. She decided, okay, first let me preface. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. So Shy has decided that she's going to take a self-care day. And she's just going to stay at home and she's not going to Juma. Now, we clearly understand how important Juma is to Bilal. And so she lets him know, I'm feeling a little hormonal today. This is just, I just want some time to myself. But you go ahead and you go do your thing. And he's upset because he's like, I've waited this long to have a partner to go to Juma with me. And now you're not coming. Where they do that at?
And apparently, so she let him know. She was like, yeah, where I'm from, the females don't have to go every Friday.
The men need to go.
The men need to go. And yes, he gave the excuse. Well, I thought
I think the women, children, and men need to go. It's for the whole home. And she's just like, that's how y'all do it over here. I'm letting you know what I'm doing and I'm taking my day.
But you know what? I don't blame her.
I'm reclaiming my time.
I don't blame her. Plus, because she's still feeling some type of way after last time she went and he completely ignored her and acted like she didn't exist.
Well, that part.
So she's still upset about that. And you know what? I would think it's kind of embarrassing for her to go at this point because you were in there. You weren't introduced to anybody. You were just standing around by yourself. Now you're expected to come back. And now I'll introduce you to everyone. No, I'm good. I'll pray at home. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He basically starts to give what feels like a lecture and she calls him out on it. And she's like, why is it every time you need to tell me something, it comes off like you're lecturing me? And he's like, well, do you feel that way? And she's like, yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I really do. So basically she says she's not going. That's her final answer. He then finds a pin in the couch.
Well, she forewarned him. She didn't have to do that.
From her hijab. And basically, I'm sorry. My notes say she uses it for her job. I'm sorry. And he starts freaking out and he's like, do you know how expensive this couch is?
She was like, that's what it's like being married to a woman with a hijab.
Right.
I said, oh, shit.
And she's like, is it an air couch? Is it going to deflate because I put a pin in it? And he's very seriously upset. He's like, you don't understand. This is an expensive couch. And basically, he wants her to stop leaving stuff on the floor and the couch. He said he stepped over things 19 times and he's over it. And yeah, they basically end with him going to Juma by himself and her taking time to be at home. But he is concerned because he said religion is one of the biggest parts of their relationship. And he's hoping that she'll be able to be active in their community.
And he also said that that's really what attracted him to her. So if it doesn't change, he doesn't know if they're going to make it across the finish line.
It's Chanel's favorite Virgo, y'all. It's the Virgo connection. We get into Emily and Kobe.
That's 911.
Who have been bickering with each other in front of her parents, which she doesn't like. She volunteers Kobe to do some work around the house to carry his weight since he can't work. He says that he's missing his life back home and he was on a handball team and they used to have a great time and drink great beer.
And the weather was great.
And the weather was great. And right now the weather's not so great. The beer is not so great. And he's just not feeling it.
And he doesn't think she realizes the sacrifices that he's made.
Right. So they go out to the horse stables and he says that it stinks and he's concerned that the horse may try to do something to him because he's never stood by a horse before.
Yeah, he said that they're rare.
Yeah, he said they're rare where he's from. And he feels he needs to make sure he's very careful. Mom isn't sure, Emily's mom, I believe her name was Lisa. Mom isn't sure how Kobe feels about being here, but appreciates the gesture of him helping out around the house.
Mm-hmm.
He said he worked with his father in a poultry farm back home, and it was stinky. But he said a horse is a different,
like they big. He was like,
and they a big animal.
And she's like, it's not. I mean, it's just like chewed up grass. It's not like icky, like horse poop. That's like saying when vegan shit, it's not nasty.
Right. So Emily, again, is doing what she does best in her Virgo tendencies. And is micromanaging while he's shoveling. I said the horse poop, but apparently it's not horse poop. She keeps giving him suggestions and recommendations, and he starts to get annoyed and tells her he doesn't need her help. He asks her, basically, can she shut the fuck up? Now, she feels like he's being rude and she was only trying to help. And, he said it in front of her mother. So now she, feels embarrassed and she's just so taken aback by Kobe's attitude. So she leaves him alone and marches back to the house as he requested.
And she feels like she's never seen this side of him. So now she's second guessing herself.
Trust me, he's second guessing you too.
On to Jabri and Miona. They are getting ready for Chicago. And Jabri has agreed.
Chi-town, shawty.
Jabri has agreed to give Miona her beach wedding. But he doesn't know how he's going to get the money to do this. But, because she agreed to go to Chicago, he feels like he has to compromise. He does say he's excited to get back into the studio with his bandmates. But he feels like he might have to do some mediation between Miona and David. I thought she was about to say something.
No, that's what I was getting ready to say. He gonna have to do some mediation.
Miona
and it's David.
I didn't. What did I say?
David.
Did I?
It's David.
Yeah, I know it's David.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm reading, y'all. Miona is also excited because there's a lot of Serbian people in Chicago. So,
we learned that from doing Tommy Force.
Miona says her only concern is David messing things up. And Jabri says, he's a good dude. You just got to give him a chance. Jabri also says they've been through their ups and downs. He used to date her sister in high school. He didn't even know. But he used to make fun of him because, he was an immigrant from Serbia and he used to make fun of his accent. And David kicked his ass. He kicked him to a 3-day coma. Okay? And he says after that, he met a Serbian girl at a party and they started dating.
And
3 months later,
David's
he found
sister.
out it was his twin sister. So, they've been cool ever since, even after they broke up. Jabri says he needs to have a conversation and apologize to them because, the last couple of years, he feels like he's been just focusing on his relationship. And, he thinks that's why they blamed Miona. Jabri is really concerned that they could get into some type of altercation. But he's hoping Miona and David are on their best behavior. Eve is making her and Muhammad some breakfast. And in the confessional, she explains that her friends really pushed Muhammad's buttons. And, in regards to his
she realizes it was fucked up.
Basically. So she's going to let it go. She's going to sweep it under the rug. She's like, I'm going to just...
you were wrong. You were wrong.
What happened last night?
You were wrong for putting him in that position. Absolutely. I mean, let's get to the,
But she wants to make it up to him, so she's going to take him to the mosque. And she knows of one nearby. So he tells her when they go there, out of respect, she has to cover her hair. and wear hijab.
Mm-hmm.
He's excited to go and take Eve so she can see how beautiful the religion is. And he feels that maybe she'll be interested in becoming a Muslim. Not so much.
Eve feel like a nun. She don't even like the attire, getting dressed, getting ready to go.
I actually like this. So she put a scarf on her head, y'all. I actually liked it.
Right. Eve says she'll support Muhammad and his religion, but she does not feel comfortable. And she's not a practicing Muslim, so she doesn't understand why she needs to wear a hijab. But she goes along with it. Then they get there and they're greeted by Rafi and what was the girl's name? I don't know why I asked her.
I just put that they had to take off their shoes before they walked in. And
I want to say it's Asiya. Rafi and Asiya. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me, Shade Squad, because I know y'all will. Oh, and I didn't say it, but if you guys haven't already, please make sure that you hit the like button.
And you subscribe.
Right. Keep us going so I can put gas in her car to make her come over here and record. You know,
what?
gas prices is high. I'm just saying. Y'all get the Cashapp information and the info. I'm just saying. So, Eve, she said that she'll support him. She takes, basically Asiya takes Eve to go wash up. And she's confused because she's like, what the hell is going on? And she tells her, we washed.
But I feel like Muhammad told her that already. She's just
playing stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so, she actually tells her that she's happy that she's there and she hopes that she becomes a Muslim herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Then we delve into Muhammad. And he expresses that their Muslim religion is important to him because his father was very religious when he was a kid. And they used to go and pray every day. But his father passed away when he was 14. Apparently, his father was sick and went to the hospital. And a few days later, he passed away. Muhammad says when he prays at the mosque, he thinks of him. He hopes that he can be like his father wants him to be. And I thought that was super super sweet. It makes him think of his father.
Right.
The owner.
Yeah.
Okay. Asked how his relationship is with Eve and if she's interested in becoming a Muslim. And he says he wants to help her to study Islam, but they had an argument, about clothes, and she feels that it's not fair that there's so many rules. Eve said she thinks that people at the mosque are very nice and she is happy to learn, but she's worried that he wants her to convert to Islam.
He does.
And the first thing he said when they got outside is,
how do you feel about it? Oh, no. Here, let me hit it. Oh, my God. That was great. Oh, my God.
So, yes, that's the first thing he mentioned when they got outside was converting to Islam.
And Eve lets him know she has no plans on converting.
Not at all.
So you can just nip that in the bud. But this is a place that you can come and enjoy your safe space. And I said, y'all better stop messing with Muhammad. One thing I feel about Muhammad, and this is what I like about him, he's not afraid to go back to Egypt based off of what he believes. If that means it don't work, it don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I with Muhammad.
He takes it very serious. And you know what, though? After he explained his father as well, I mean, regardless, most people in the Muslim religion,
they take it very seriously.
They take it very serious. But I feel like it's a deeper, it's deep-rooted.
Right.
So Ari and Benny are on their way to the MMA. I don't know why the fuck I couldn't get that out. Okay.
The MMA. That's what she meant.
I'm starting over.
Okay.
Ari and Benny are on their way to the MMA gym. And he's super excited because this is what he wants to get into. And he says he wants to fight and win. We want you to, baby. We want you to fight and win as well.
And get some money.
Get some money in there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ari told him she does want to support, but we have to consider the fact that the place is 45 minutes away. We have Avi. She has to start working online, and maybe she may not be able to drive him all the time. That do sound like a lot.
You better get on that bus. I know there's buses in Princeton.
You think so?
Absolutely.
She says she's concerned about this MMA life because it requires a lot of time and focus, and she pictures having more of a normal work life. She says in Ethiopia, he worked around the clock, and it was an issue for them. Benny loves the gym when they get there, and he said
he's nervous, but he's ready to show off his skills. They first look at his striking. Look, y'all, I was paying attention. I know that, you know what I'm saying? Charles, who is the owner of the gym and apparently has worked with, is currently working with the MMA champion, says that he has a great fundamental foundation and he's very excited to work with Benny. He lets him know he has a lot of work to do and let Ari know that he needs to be working out 2 to 4 hours a day. Now, Ari says she feels like Benny is prioritizing his dreams over their family, and it could end up in them not getting married.
Mm-hmm. Well. So Patrick and Thais, they go on a date night, and she's happy to get some alone time with him, okay? Because clearly she does not like John. Patrick is glad that Thais' relationship with John is not so awkward anymore, and he's super excited to take her on her first date in the U.S. He tells Thais that they'll be moving to Dallas because he'll be working at a different office. Apparently, he mentioned this to her before, but he expected it to happen later. And she's excited about it because she thinks John's not coming.
Mm-hmm.
He corrects that very quickly.
No, John is coming.
He's coming. And she does not understand why.
Why is John moving with us? Why can't he live by himself?
She feels like John can get a job without living with them.
What did I say?
Basically, that clearly messed up the vibe. She thought when they moved to Dallas that she would be able to get rid of John. Now, they're at dinner, and this he basically tells her, yeah, it's not happening. He's coming. So they're at dinner, and he introduces Thais to macaroni and cheese for the first time.
Which she loves. She's like, this is mac and cheese. This is pasta.
She was impressed.
Right?
I was like, boo, it's your first time. You have not lit.
And it looked like it was lit a little bit. Like it had macaroni and cheese and bacon or something. Yeah, it wasn't. And girl, if it was truffle, wait till you discover truffle.
No, she got to have some baked mac and cheese. She will lose her mind.
Wait till you discover truffle mac. First of all, wait till you find out how much truffle costs. Then have some truffle mac. The best thing you ever had.
So he asks her how she feels about John moving with them to Dallas. She's like, what do you think? And she just cannot understand why he has to go. He basically tells her, it's just me. Like, I'm the only one supporting us. He's a huge help, and you can't work yet. I didn't even know he expected her to work.
Mm-hmm.
The way he out here balling, ain't no budget.
Okay.
But he also talks about their history and how he loved having his brother around because of how they grew up and basically the trauma that they both went through. Now, she knows this trauma. He said that he let her know everything up front, so she knew what she was getting herself into. And she really don't give a damn. She seems to.
Right.
She don't care. She does not want John to come. So he basically tells her just how it's going down.
That's what's happening, and I need you to do this for me. And Thais said, all right, I'll do it for you, but this ain't gonna go on forever, right? Right, we ain't doing this forever.
There's no end plan, though.
That's the problem. Jabri and Miona, they're on their way up to Chicago, and Miona is floored by the pampas that are along the road. She tells Jabri she needs them for her beach wedding. She's like, do you know how much these cost? They're like $10 per
back home, I guess.
Right. So apparently, well, we know they're $10. He then jokes with her that it's David's land. And she says she's going to steal all of them from him. Then he lets her know that it's really not David's. We learned that David has a trucking company of his own there in Chicago, and that's where they're going to meet him.
Actually, it's a huge
trucking company. He hopes that David and Miona can work it out and that he doesn't need to get in between and have to choose between either one of them. So apparently Jabri has a CDL, we learned. He actually used to be out here on these streets. Which makes a lot of sense. He's probably seen a lot of things, seen a lot of places, and he just seems like he's exposed to a lot. It makes sense. Jabri, because Jabri is different. And
he's free.
Right, he's very free. So I could see him being very comfortable in that role. David, as soon as they approach and they greet each other, David basically wastes no time and is like, yo, I'm trying to get you on board to work in one of these trucks.
Trying to get you to make some money and make some money off of you.
Right, and work on this music. Jabri lets him know he's really just trying to do the music for real. He's not really interested in trucking. And he's like, well, where are you going to stay at? Your mama's place? You ain't got no job. Like, David starts going in.
But was he lying?
He was not. And see, so here's my thing. I wasn't crazy about the way David was coming at Miona, because y'all know I do kind of like Miona. However, David views himself, clearly him and Jabri have a brother relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, sometimes it don't take blood. If you trust a motherfucker enough with yourself,
mm-hmm.
you're going to listen to what they have to say. And I think I'm not going to say it's part of the problem, but that helped me a little bit understand their dynamic. That's why David feels he can say the things that he says
mm-hmm.
to Jabri. And it's
doesn't he consider him like his godfather?
His godfather, but yeah, but to me that's like if you said that to me, and that might hurt. Like, why would you say that
mm-hmm.
but it's some that like you said, it ain't nothing you said was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It was true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not trying to receive it in that moment.
And at the end of the day, maybe he didn't say it properly, but
right.
I think he's still coming from a good place. I don't want to see you struggle. And actually, that's what he said. He said, so are you just going to continue to struggle? You're living off your mom. You have a woman here that you brought from another country you have to support. And how are you going to do that?
Right. Jabri's not happy because obviously he says it sounds like his parents. David said he hasn't seen him doing nothing and feels like he switched up. Jabri tells him, you switched up and changed. Don't tell me the money changed you. And he said, well, clearly you switched up, and looks at Miona. And I was like, you better leave Jabri alone about that, Miona. That's all I'm going to say. So Miona chimes in and says, why should he have to do it if it doesn't make him happy? She says,
don't you want a beach wedding, man?
She
How
says,
are you supposed to get that?
Right. She says, regardless of what you may think, I have his best interests at heart. He is my family, and I only have the best of intentions for Jabri. David said he wants to make sure her intentions are good, and being there, she just got there, and she's probably living off Jabri. And she interrupts and was like, that's really none of your business. He's like, no, Jabri is my business. That's why I said it's different. That's not regular friendship. So David said he really doesn't know her and just wants the best for him and Miona. And basically Miona says, well, you never really got a chance to get to know me. And he says, well, that's what I'm trying to do now. And that's what you're here for.
He basically said that he doesn't want Jabri to compromise himself more than he needs to. So who knows? I mean, what he is doing to even take care of himself, or I mean, even though he lives with his parents,
right?
You know what I mean? He still has Jabri, himself, and Miona to support. He could be getting himself into debt, or you know what I mean? Who knows?
For all I know, he got an OnlyFans trying to support. You know, so basically, David just says that he wants to make sure Jabri is good, and basically that. Miona's not holding him back. And he's like, and that's the problem. He doesn't want to admit that Miona's holding him back. And that's why he's really upset. I said, well, damn. We see Kobe again, and he looks like he's tired. He says he's annoyed with Emily. The fact that she continued to give him commands was getting on his nerves. He goes into the barn horse stable, and then...
I get it. I understand.
No, I do. He then apologizes to Emily's mother for coming off rude, and he explains that he was overwhelmed by the way Emily continued to bark at him. And I use that word for a reason, bark, because that's exactly what she was doing. He says he doesn't know if it's just an American thing. Now, this is where you went left. Or women feeling like men are inferior.
I know why he said that.
Okay.
Because a lot of places, especially in Africa, we've seen in other 90 Day Fiance shows, they show you, especially when they date American women, they show you that women, compared to Africa, talk down to their men. And you know how they feel, oh, you're supposed to respect your man. And
right.
I think that's why he's saying he doesn't know if it's an American thing.
I get what you're saying on that. I just think it was the wrong thing to say to her mother. Emily's mom says she thinks it's more of a person on person situation
versus a man
and woman type thing. And that Emily can be bossy, but that her husband would never say
talk
to her like he talked to Emily. Mm-hmm. So he walks in the house and Emily is waiting for him and he's like, hey, babe. And she's like, hey, babe.
Well,
hey, babe. After you just told me to shut the fuck up.
I ain't gonna lie. That was Virgo. Babe? Oh, I'm babe now? Now I'm babe. I thought you just wanted me to shut the fuck up. So I'm supposed to respond to you? Now I can respond? Babe can say hi. Babe can say what's up. Yeah, that was Virgo.
I'm glad she realized.
That was.
Okay. He says, you wouldn't stop talking. And how do you think that makes me feel? She's upset that obviously he told her to shut the fuck up in front of his mom. And then he lets her know that she was being bossy.
It aggravated me because she knows that there's a slight language barrier. And what he meant when he said, you just kept talking. She was like, oh, so you told me to shut the fuck up because I was talking? I was just talking. No, bitch. You knew what the fuck you were doing. And you was getting on his goddamn nerves. And you kept on telling him you were being controlling. You were being controlling.
That's the word. So, Emily lets him know that regardless what he said was wrong, he does apologize, and she apologizes for being too talkative. No, that's not what you need to apologize for.
See, she took that and rode with it.
It wasn't that he didn't want you to talk. He just wanted you to shut up and giving him direction.
Let me do it the way I'm doing it.
Right. He understands that by telling her to fuck up, that was authoritative. But he does say that he loves her, but he also feels that she doesn't consider him or listen to him. He feels that if she can't learn to listen to him, that their marriage will never work. And I can concur.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
We see Kobe again, and he looks like he's tired. He says he's annoyed with Emily. The fact that she continued to give him commands was getting on his nerves. He goes into the barn horse stable and then...
I get it. I understand.
No, I do. He then apologizes to Emily's mother for coming off rude. And he explains that he was overwhelmed by the way Emily continued to bark at him. And I use that word for a reason, bark, because that's exactly what she was doing. He says he doesn't know if it's just an American thing. Now, this is where you went left. Or women feeling like men are inferior.
I know why he said that.
Okay.
Because a lot of places, especially in Africa, we've seen in other 90 Day Fiance shows, they show you, especially when they date American women, they show you that women, compared to Africa, talk down to their men. And you know how they feel, oh, you're supposed to respect your man. And
right.
I think that's why he's saying he doesn't know if it's an American thing.
I get what you're saying on that. I just think it was the wrong thing to say to her mother. Emily's mom says she thinks it's more of a person on person situation
versus a man
and woman type thing. And that Emily can be bossy, but that her husband would never say
talk to her like that.
Talk to her like he talked to Emily.
Mm-hmm.
So he walks in the house and Emily is waiting for him and he's like, hey, babe. And she's like, hey, babe.
Well,
hey, babe. After you just told me to shut the fuck up.
I ain't gonna lie. That was Virgo. Babe? Oh, I'm babe now? Now I'm babe. I thought you just wanted me to shut the fuck up. So I'm supposed to respond to you? Now I can respond? Babe can say hi. Babe can say what's up? Yeah, that was Virgo.
I'm glad she realized.
That was.
Okay. So, he says you wouldn't stop talking, and how do you think that makes me feel? She's upset that obviously he told her to shut the fuck up in front of his mom. And then he lets her know that she was being bossy.
It aggravated me because she knows that there's a slight language barrier, and what he meant when he said you just kept talking. She was like, "Oh, so you told me to shut the fuck up because I was talking? I was just talking to no, bitch. You knew what the fuck you were doing, and you was getting on his goddamn nerves, and you kept on telling him you were being controlling. You were being controlling."
That's the word. So, Emily lets him know that regardless what he said was wrong, he does apologize, and she apologizes for being too talkative. No, that's not what you need to apologize for.
See, she took that and rode with it.
It wasn't that he didn't want you to talk. He just wanted you to shut up and giving him direction.
Let me do it the way I'm doing it.
Right. He understands that by telling her to fuck up, that was authoritative. But he does say that he loves her, but he also feels that she doesn't consider him or listen to him. He feels that if she can't learn to listen to him, that their marriage will never work. And I can concur.
So Thais and Patrick are packing up for Dallas. Patrick says living with her is everything he imagined. He loves waking up next to her, and he's excited to start their new life in Dallas. Thais says she loves the car. What car was it again?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't notice the car.
No, his car. Gosh.
It's a Tesla, isn't it?
Tesla, yes.
Okay.
Because she can kiss him a lot. Because he ain't got to drive it. You know, it's a self-driving car. And she says to him, she suggests, why don't they pull over and go have sex? So he pulls into a charging station, and they get to the house late. When they get there, John is already there, and they left at the same time. So Lord only knows how long they was in that car charging.
Right.
Okay. They got to the house.
I totally missed that part. But go ahead.
They get to the house, and I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a very beautiful house. Apparently, it's bigger than the last house. And John says that, at the old place, it was awkward for him with Thais, but he's hoping they can have a fresh start in this new place. And Thais is walking around the house. She's getting a tour, and she is not pleased with the closet. She thinks this closet is smaller than the last place. She thinks the other house is bigger. She's just not super happy. And Patrick actually explains to her that this house is actually bigger.
And he said $500,000 is what if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, see, I missed that part.
Yeah, no, he said it's $500,000.
Then while she's upstairs, she notices John's furniture. She's like, oh, this furniture is ugly. Like, it needs to go. But apparently John has the full top level. So, bitch, that ain't none of your business. If he want his ugly furniture, he can have it. Furniture. Okay, and that's basically what Patrick told her, that John will be occupying this area. And Thais is not feeling it because she feels some type of way that she was not consulted at all in buying this house. Now, John says, as she's complaining to, Patrick about the size of the house, and she's just really not happy. But, John says to Patrick that he hopes this is not like a character thing, basically like a character flaw, and doesn't just expect you to buy her a mansion. Well, and Patrick seems to be getting aggravated and tells her, she needs to open her eyes. It's a brand new house. And he tells her to live with it, basically. And he doesn't have any patience for her being dissatisfied with the house. In the confessional, he talks about how, they grew up in a trailer. They had to share rooms. And he comes from humble beginnings. So he has no patience, and he does not give a damn what she thinks about that house. Probably why he didn't consult your ass.
Eve and can't even say Muhammad. Eve is getting ready to go for a night out with Tatiana. Muhammad says, "Oh, so you're going out?" and I'm staying home. And she says, well, yeah, I'm not going out long. I'll be back very soon. And he's, okay.
Okay.
Muhammad says that he was surprised as Theron not being there. He thought that they would have a nice dinner and watch a movie. He then asked her if she's going there to drink. And she says, well, it wouldn't be bad to have a glass of wine. Muhammad looks at her and says, really?
Well, it's up to you.
She said, I told you I might have a glass of wine occasionally. And he said, sure. I'm telling y'all, it's something behind that just... Muhammad's plotting. Muhammad gonna be on the first thing smoking back to Egypt. Watch.
In the confessional, though, he says he's frustrated about her going out because his worst fear is Eve acting like her friends. And he feels that it'll be bad
by their opinions
for their relationship.
Right. So she meets up with Tatiana, and Tatiana does ask how Muhammad's doing, and says she wanted to talk to her because she can feel that she's stressed. She orders her a drink, and it definitely was not wine.
It's like a margarita.
It would look like a margarita or a mojito.
Mm-hmm.
And just tells her to blame it on me. She says that she feels very overwhelmed, and she tries to say she's not second guessing things. She tells her about the experience at the mosque. And then Tatiana asks her, well, is he going to expect you to convert? And she says she doesn't. Eve says she doesn't know. But she doesn't feel good about it, and it doesn't feel comfortable to her. And I was like, well, girl. So Tatiana asked what he thought about the friends. And she says, and Eve tells her she was a little offended. He was a little offended, y'all. A little offended by y'all. Tatiana said, we're not bad people. And she actually starts to get emotional. She says, because we talk about sex, but she says she can take ownership of the fact that maybe they went too hard because they had questions and they don't understand it. Tatiana says that she just doesn't want to lose Eve. And she's, if you've been in a relationship that has taken a not so positive turn, she says this is how it normally starts.
Mm-hmm. So she's more concerned that this may not just be a cultural thing, that
he might just be controlling.
Exactly.
And she even says he feels like he uses religion to control her and control her life. Tatiana just lets her know she wants the best for her, and they're just coming from a place of concern. And I was like, Eve, you need to... I like Muhammad, but you need to send him back to Egypt.
Especially if you're not willing
to conform when you knew what it was when you signed up.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Ari and Benny. She's getting ready to drop him off at the gym. We learned that Ari has gotten a job working on her friend's social media,
mm-hmm.
whatever.
Basically from her phone.
Right, from her phone. So she's doing that while she's watching Avi and taking Benny to the gym. So she's on her last leg. She's like, say what again? And it'll set her off. So while Benny's at the gym, she plans on taking Avi to the park. And then as has Avi at the park and she's trying to work, she goes back to take Avi to see Benny while he's training.
Mm-hmm.
And she walks in and notices Avi on the floor, and I don't know the terminology. It wasn't a triangle choke, but it was some type of hold. I knew a little bit. But it was some type of hold, and the girl was behind him and had her legs all wrapped around him.
If she would have walked in when he was on top of her, that would have been totally different.
Right.
She wouldn't get that baby to production. She's like, can y'all watch Avi real quick?
Right.
I said, oh, it's about to
go down. She walks in there and she's like, really? You didn't think that you should tell me that you were training with another girl? And when I told y'all, my boo saw this shit and he was like, I wish you would. I wish you would come up in the establishment and show your ass like that. Like, I wish you would. Yeah, no. It was real. She goes up to the girl. What's your name?
She bold.
What's your name? Now, mind you, this woman
is an
her
MMA
name,
fighter.
I believe her name is Melissa. Is a trained MMA fighter. She goes up in this girl's face. No, get out my way, Benny. What's your name?
She's like, Melissa.
And she's like, so is it okay? Do you think, and she's talking to Charles and Melissa, do you think it is okay for him to be sparring or fighting with another woman and him not tell his girlfriend?
Well, I'm not in your relationship.
And why do you have fake eyelashes
I'm not
while you're fighting?
Because I'm fly, bitch.
Bitch, I'll whoop your ass. That's what Ari wanted to do.
She was like, you look great. She was like, as I should. Basically, I'm going to take off my lashes because I have to spar, because I have to practice.
Right.
Just because you're insecure, boo, ain't got shit to do with me. And she basically said, you know, you spar with who you spar with. I mean, we're here to practice. He has a fight coming up. And Melissa basically says, you know, the insecurities got to go.
Charles is not here for this energy in his gym. Mm-mm. And Ari is trying to, you don't understand? You don't think he should tell me? Charles is like, that is y'all home life and your business. Keep us the fuck out. This is an establishment, a place of business. We are here to fight, to train, and we ain't got time for this bullshit. And I said, for once, somebody calling Ari out on her bullshit. Thank you.
And she took that shit right outside. Melissa ends it with saying, women are training with men all the time. Equal rights, equal fights. I said, you better tell her. And you know, the argument continued outside, y'all, of course. Mm-hmm. Benny basically says that he told her that he fights with girls, which I don't believe, because we know he don't want to get nobody's argument. But I'm wondering what she expected. Did she expect him to come inside and see that there was only a woman there and call her like, hey, there's a chick here, and this is who I got to spar with? Mm-hmm. I don't know what she was expecting.
Like he was supposed to say no and turn around.
I really don't. Listen. I'm not.
So this is what I'm going to say.
I don't blame her for getting upset.
I don't think, really?
I don't blame her for getting upset. I blame her for acting an ass. But I can understand walking in seeing that, why you would feel some type of way. Especially if you weren't expecting it.
Well, I know why she feels that way based off past history and stuff that he's done. So I'm not taking that away from her. But being that he's in a new place and don't know nobody, the Benny's detriment to himself is the fact that he doesn't know how to speak up and tell the truth. Because I feel like even if Benny isn't doing anything wrong, he's going to either not speak about it or lie in order to just not bring it up. And that does more damage than actually you telling the truth, as we know.
We don't know, even if he spoke up, if he would be telling the truth. Because he has a history of cheating. He cheated on his ex, who's fucking gorgeous. Looks way better than Ari. Was in Ethiopia the whole time. Ari was in Princeton doing God knows what, not answering her calls. So we really don't know if he spoke up, if he would be speaking the truth. So I understand why she doesn't trust him. But I can understand whether you trusted him or not. Walking in, seeing your man rolling around on the floor with another woman, how that can make your heart sink to your ass. Okay. So we're back in Chicago. Okay. With Miona and Jabri. Now, Jabri is off at the studio and Miona is, I don't know if they're in an Airbnb or what, but she is planning for this beach wedding, honey. Mm-hmm. She's like, let's get this shit in the works. And she's realizing that the prices here are different than Serbia. Girl, why do you think he was so hell-bent on not doing it? And doing it on his parents' ranch or farm or whatever? Because it's expensive. Okay. Now, she says that she doesn't have any help. And back home she would. And this is the type of thing they save up for because it's very important in their families' lives. It's a big event, you know, to have their child get married. Now, Miona is calling around trying to see the availability for this beach wedding.
And they all tell her it's too soon. Boo.
That's supposed to happen in the next few weeks. And yeah, they all tell her, boo, that's too soon. We can't help you, ma'am. Sorry. And she's feeling frustrated. Now we're going to leave her there frustrated in her place and move on to the Black Serbs. Okay. They get together in the studio and Jabri says seeing everyone in the studio again feels great.
And he's not the only black member of the group. I was so surprised.
He's not.
What was it? Brandy was her name?
Mm-hmm. Look at you. Okay. Well, I guess look at me for remembering. And he's happy about it. And, you know, because this morning was super stressful for him. I didn't even realize that stuff was that morning. So, you know, he says he's got this new producer that they're meeting, and not to mention that his relationship with David is it's just been too much tension. So this boy is stressed. David tells everyone to put their phones on Do Not Disturb and let's get ready to do this music. Jabri tells David, Miona's cool. And apparently David has a problem with her checking up on him.
Mm.
And, he talks to Brandy about it. Like, what if you were dating somebody and they're constantly checking up on you? And Brandy actually agrees. She's like,
she's from a different country.
She's from another country. She's here by herself. She don't got nobody. All she has is Jabri. So that is her support system. So
she fall back, chill out.
Exactly. She gets it. So Jabri is just like, all right.
If y'all can't tell, I'm not here for David's energy.
He's like, let's just focus on this music. And he's like, I'm going to text Miona and then I'm going to turn my phone off. So David is like, why you need to text her?
She know where you at.
Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. And Jabri in the confessional says that he is reaching his boiling point between David and his mother. David says he wants to focus and does not want to be disturbed by Miona. And Jabri is like, don't do that. Don't do that, bruh. Stop. Popping him upside his head. And it escalates real fast.
Now they rolling around on the floor.
They look, let me tell you something. I don't know who winning. They cut it off.
All I know is Jabri don't end up in another 3-day coma, sir.
Right. Well, Jabri was on top this time, though. He was on top.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another review of 90 Day Fiance. Please make sure, if you have not already, that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And we will catch you next week. Delayed.
You know what?
Yes. I love her.
Because of me, I'm going to own it. Damn it. I'm going to have a great time.
We all need time to ourselves. That's okay. So yes, we will catch you guys. I don't want to say when we catch you. We'll catch you next week. We'll
holler back at you.
We'll holler back at you. But thank you guys, and we'll catch you later. Have a great night.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe.